Just weeks ago, reports started surfacing. Jack Bech wasn't just good at rookie minicamp, he was dominating. Catch after catch, route after route. Bech was making defenders look lost. At first, it was just against rookies, but now, he's showing up seasoned veterans at OTAs. Sources from inside camp say Bech is consistently open in drills. On Friday alone, he hauled in multiple deep balls during 11-on-11s, touchdowns in a real game scenario. The chemistry is already there, the confidence unshakable. The biggest question, will he line up outside or in the slot? Either way, if he keeps playing like this, Bech could be a day one starter. That's big news for a Raiders offense that struggled to move the chains last season. Before we dive deeper into this Raiders breakout star, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a single update. Big things are coming, and you'll want to be the first to know. Now, back to the action. Bech's rise could shake up the entire wide receiver rotation. Is he just camp hot, or the real deal? We'll break it down in the next segment. The Raiders' offense isn't just improving, it might be on the verge of a breakout. And at the center of this quiet storm, rookie wide receiver Jack Bech. Even without full pads or starters clashing against starters, Bech is making enough noise to catch the attention of reporters inside camp. Although Las Vegas isn't lining up its top defensive unit against its top offense just yet, standard practice this early in OTAs, it's clear the Raiders are building something different. No contact, no problem. Jack Bech continues to flash big play potential in practice, and it's becoming impossible to ignore. Veteran reporter Sean Reed, who's been on the ground at Raiders camp, confirmed Bech has been consistently open and making plays. That's not hype, it's reality. Let's rewind for a second. Last season, the Raiders' offense was stuck in the mud. Quarterback uncertainty, a struggling offensive line, and receivers who couldn't separate. Even the run game often went backwards instead of forward. But this year, the script is changing. The offensive line has matured, Jackson Powers-Johnson is entering year 2, and DJ Glaze is growing fast. Even if some rookies are stepping into key roles, that's not necessarily a weakness anymore. For example, a smart rookie guard can come in and play solid football from day one, and the Raiders have brought in just that. And then there's the passing game. With Jack Bech now emerging as a serious weapon, there's a real possibility. By mid-season, he could be the Raiders' most reliable wideout. No disrespect to Jacoby Myers, but Bech brings something different. Separation, speed, and surprising polish for a rookie. So what happens if Bech keeps trending upward? Could this be the missing piece that finally unlocks the Raiders' offense? Let's break it down next. Jack Bech isn't just turning heads. He's showing signs of being that guy. Not just a solid contributor, but a true number one wide receiver, a player who can win any matchup, stretch the field, and shift the momentum of a game. And what makes this more exciting? He's doing it consistently. Every report coming out of OTAs paints the same picture. Bech is getting open, making plays, and standing out. That kind of performance early on matters, especially for a team that's been desperate for offensive firepower. The Raiders are building something different this year. With explosive young talents like Bech and potential stars like Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty still to be fully unleashed, this offense could take a massive leap. We're not just talking improvement, we're talking about the real possibility of being a top 10 scoring team. That wasn't even in the conversation last season. Jack Bech's rise brings real hope. If this momentum continues through training camp, he could go from impressive rookie to essential playmaker. It's early, but everything we're hearing points to one thing. The Raiders might have found a future star. The Raiders just made a big-time move, locking down the best punter in the NFL, A.J. Cole, on a 4-year deal worth $15.8 million with $11 million guaranteed. That makes him the highest-paid punter in the league, and honestly, he deserves every penny. Some fans might scoff at the idea of paying a punter $4 million per season, but that mindset misses the bigger picture. A great punter can flip field position, pin opponents deep, and completely change the momentum of a game. A.J. Cole does that consistently. Just look back at the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. The Eagles punter repeatedly pinned Kansas City deep, forcing them to drive the full length of the field. That kind of impact doesn't show up on fantasy scores, but it wins real games. When you've got a weapon like A.J. Cole, you don't let him walk. The Raiders made the smart move here, locking up one of the few special teams players who can genuinely shift the outcome of a game. A lot of people overlook just how much a punter can change the game. But when A.J. Cole pins a team at their own 15-yard line, it forces them to go 85 yards to score. That's a whole different challenge than starting at the 35th. That's the kind of field position battle A.J. Cole helps the Raiders win, week after week. Sure, you're paying him nearly $4 million a year, but that money secures the most accurate, consistent punter in the league. He's a specialist at pinning teams inside the 20, which forces opposing offenses into long, grinding drives. That gives your defense a better chance to get stops, and your offense a shorter field when it gets the ball back. The Raiders haven't always had elite field position. Last year, bad punts led to opposing teams starting at the 40. With Cole, those same drives might begin at the 17. That's a game changer, especially if the defense forces a quick 3-and-out. Historically, the Raiders have had legendary punters like Shane Lechler and Ray Guy. A.J. Cole is on that path. Some even say he could end up being the best punter in team history. With the salary cap rising, paying a top-tier punter is a smart investment. You'll see his value clearly this season when the Raiders' defense gets stops and the offense takes over at midfield thanks to A.J. Cole's booming, perfectly placed punts. ESPN recently published an article listing the most improved teams in the NFL, and guess who made the cut? The Las Vegas Raiders. That's not something you hear every year, and it's a big deal coming from a mainstream outlet like ESPN. The article, written by Benjamin Solak, highlights the Raiders as one of the most improved squads heading into the season, predicting they could hover around a .500 record. Now, let's break down why that might be true. The quarterback room has seen a serious upgrade, from Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew to Geno Smith. That alone makes a major difference. Add to that the development of weapons like Brock Bowers entering his second year, and new additions like Ashton Jeanty bringing fresh firepower to the backfield. While Solak might not follow the Raiders as closely as fans do, names like Jack Beck, Trey Tucker, and Sincere McCormick are gaining real buzz. Tight end Michael Mayer hasn't broken out just yet, but remember, he was one of the most highly regarded prospects at his position. The pieces are there, and they're falling into place. This kind of growth doesn't happen by accident. You've got to give credit to GM John Spytek. He's building smart, investing in youth, adding depth, and avoiding splashy short-term signings that mortgage the future. That's a big shift from the Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels era, where moves like signing Chandler Jones or trading for Davante Adams signaled a win-now approach without a long-term vision. The Raiders are finally taking a sustainable path forward, and when ESPN starts giving Las Vegas some rare praise, it's worth paying attention. Let's wrap it up by talking about where the Raiders are really headed. Nate Hobbs just signed a deal worth $12 to $13 million a year, making him one of the highest-paid slot corners in the NFL. Trayvon Moehrig could soon be a top 5 or top 7 paid safety. Malcolm Kuntz is on track to be one of the highest-paid defensive linemen. These aren't reckless splurges. They're signs of smart investment in core talent. In hindsight, maybe the old go-all-in approach had some short-term payoff. But history tells us that strategy rarely leads to lasting success. Just look at teams like the Saints or Cowboys, who are now dealing with the aftermath of chasing immediate wins. The best path? Long-term building. And that's exactly what John Spytek is doing in Las Vegas. Give some credit to Tom Telesco, too. Last year, he helped land arguably the best tight end and the best center in the league. And if DJ Glaze develops into the Raiders' franchise left tackle, that's 3 foundational pieces from 1 draft class. 2 already look like future stars. Spytek hasn't slowed down either. He added Ashton Jeanty, who has serious upside, and Jack Beck, who's generating hype. Darian Porter is already taking first-team reps at OTAs. He's not just a workout warrior anymore. He's starting to look like a real contributor. And let's not forget the Geno Smith trade. The Raiders gave up just a 3rd-round pick, not a 1st and 2nd like they did for Davante Adams, and they didn't have to make Geno the highest-paid QB. His contract, at an average of $37.5 million per year, is team-friendly and well-structured. All of this adds up to something bigger, national recognition. When ESPN calls the Raiders one of the most improved teams in the league, it's not just hype, it's validation. It's a sign that the rest of the football world is starting to take notice. Of course, looking great on paper isn't enough. The real test comes on the field. But for now, it's clear. The Raiders are finally on the right path. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe. I'll see you next time with more Raiders content.